today we're going to work on this Milwaukee Impact Driver. I don't even know. It's one with brushes. I don't know what it is, what model or anything. I don't see anything specific. It just says Impact Driver. But this thing, I got it for $5 at a tag sale. When I first got it, it didn't work at all. Not even a little bit. You would whack it and you could get it to move a little bit. But $5, I almost think it may have gotten a little wet because the brushes weren't pushing down all the way. But now it works fine, but there is one issue. I want to replace the brushes because if you look at them, it looks like they weren't riding right, and I'll show you that in a second. What I think I need to do this job, I haven't done it before. Take the battery out. What I think I need is, you definitely need a T10. We probably don't need the Phillips head, but we'll look into it. I grabbed this just because there's a bunch of other things on it. Wire stripper. I'm not entirely sure, but we'll see when we get to this point if we have to use these wires or not. But the first thing I want to show you is the brushes. Oh, you need a soldering iron too. I'm going to sit right here. There we go. So on the back with the T10, I've been in here before because that's how I got it working as is. And like I said, you could leave it like this. These brushes aren't totally shot yet, but I would rather have a nice brand new working tool. I'm planning on switching over to the Milwaukee stuff. I like it a lot better, so I've just been looking for it. Reasonably inexpensive. So we're going to take out these 4 screws. And this will show you the brushes. Obviously, if you have a brushless one, this is not what it's going to look like. I think this is a slightly older one. Like I say, I don't see any specific model number on it. It's got a serial number, but no model number that I can find. Those 4 out, this whole piece comes off. Alright, so hopefully you'll be able to see this. So, if you were to look at the brushes, this is going to be hard probably. This brush looks brand new. If you look at this one, it's pretty much done. There's only just a little bit more. If you look at this one, it's the same way. If you look at this one, it's got a hair more meat on it, but we're talking a hair. Actually, I think it's, yeah, just a hair more than the rest. So one brush is perfectly fine. The other 3 are not great. So what I really want to do is I just want to replace them. And the next step is to see. These brushes are supposed to fit a bunch of different ones. If you look, the design is slightly different. It's flat on the top than that one, but the rest of it looks exactly the same. I don't see anything out of the ordinary there. So, what I think we have to do from here is take this side panel off. That's my guess. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I think you definitely have to take off these 2. I'm not entirely sure if you have to take these 2 off. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to unscrew all of these, and we'll go from there. I'm going to take these 2 out. I have a feeling the whole front piece comes off if you take all 4 off. So let's try. I'm going to try to take these 4 Phillips heads out and just see what it looks like. I'm going to take this out. But once we put new brushes on this thing, it'll be like brand new. So I want to have it where it's just reliable. I can grab it, use everything, use it the way I want to. The thing I actually I'm kind of kicking myself for is there was a drill there too, and I think it basically needed the same job, the same thing, and it probably would have been $5 as well. I should have just bought it. Yeah, this pulls right off. So if you really wanted to, you could re-grease this. I'm not gonna bother. Stinky grease. So, let's put that to the side. Now I'm gonna take this apart. Hopefully we don't lose anything and nothing goes flying when we take the cover off. So I'm gonna keep everything with its part, so we know those go to there. These side panel screws, they're a little bit smaller than that back piece, so I'm assuming they're all going to be the same size. If they're not, I will let you know. I just really, I'm at the point, I have all the old Craftsman tools. I have all the old Craftsman tools, and I'm at the point where I need to start thinking about new ones, and I've used the Milwaukee tools and I like them, so I think that's where I'm going to be headed. So far these are all the same. Theory, as I get myself covered in grease, this should just pull apart. Yeah, that was my actual original thought as well. I thought this thing got wet at some point, that's why the brushes were stuck. And it looks like I was right. This definitely got damp. Nothing really looks that bad here. Just a little bit of corrosion. All the stuff that has grease on it is fine. All the connections are fine. This all looks good. It's just got dirt on it because this was somebody's tool that they used. So alright, so now I don't know what the easiest way to get this thing out is, but I'm assuming this whole unit needs to come out. I'm trying not to. There we go. Alright. So this is the whole mechanism. I can clean this up if I want to. I don't see anything too crazy here. Just a little bit of surface corrosion. Alright, so this is the part we have to replace. And if you look, you can see the brushes. This one's actually stuck right now too. Yep, that one's stuck. So this really needs to be replaced. So alright, so what we have to do, we're just going to compare the two and make sure they're the same, but we just need to unsolder here and here, solder the new one in, and it looks like this side has the, they even have the little security tag thing in here. This side is the red one, the one where the half we took off. On this one, it's reddish. It's like reddish brown. Yeah, it's the same there. I don't see anything different here, minus that little, no, it's the same. This little top piece is flat, as you couldn't tell before, so it's exactly the same. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat up the soldering iron. I'm going to have to probably find some heat shrink too. I'll put this off to the side for a second. Let me grab we'll see if this will take this off. If I can get this hot enough, this will just pull right off. Okay, so I can't find my really big soldering iron, so we're gonna just gloss over that. So the first one I got off by using actually 2 soldering irons to get it up to temperature. I cut the other side, so hopefully we can do that one without too much trouble. I really should have a knife to do this part, but we're gonna just be lazy. shrink off with the soldering iron just because I don't feel like getting back up. So the first one, like I said, came off pretty easy overall, but you can see like this is not, there's nothing there for that brush. It's at its absolute max, so this definitely needed to be done. I'll pull this out a little bit just so I can get to this side. This is an old soldering iron, but it may actually be hot enough to do this now. Let's find out. If not, I'm going to have to do what I did with the other side and use 2 soldering irons to get it to melt. Which, all I have to say is, this is not the right way to do this. It's just these soldering irons, both. This soldering iron probably could actually do it. I just don't have the, there we go. I don't have it hooked up to 24 volts right now. If I had it on 24 volts, it probably would work just fine to do this. Alright, so the 2 are off. If you're really ambitious, you could clean all this up, but we're going to just dump a bunch of solder on it. So I'm going to take these off. We're going to do it just like they had it. So this side was, so it goes in like this, and this one goes here, and this one goes there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to push this guy through here. I'm not going to go crazy. That's plenty. Give you a quick click. And then we're just going to dump a bunch of solder right on that. Like I said, this is probably going to have to be done the way I don't want to do it, by using 2 soldering irons, but we're just going to do it anyway. We'll see if this one can start to at least get it going. This one might actually work. It's getting hotter and hotter and hotter, so. I did forget to put the heat shrink on here, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a piece of electrical tape on either side. Yeah, I'm going to put a bunch of solder in here and then I'm going to hit it with both. This is really not the way to do it. Should be plenty. There we go. Alright, so I just want to put a little bit on here too. Yeah, these soldering irons are just, there we go. Alright, so it doesn't look half bad. I'm just going to trim off that little end piece there. That's what I call hillbilly soldering. There. Whatever works, right? Alright, so we'll put a little bit of we'll just put a little electrical tape on that. I think I'm going to do the same thing on this side because I don't see the point of doing all this. that. If I can get it to stay, that would be handy. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to put a big solder blob right here. And I'm going to flow it with the other one. And like I say, this is not the way to do this, but I can't find my big soldering iron, which would take care of this in one swift motion. Alright. It's not terrible. I just don't want the little hairs to poke through the tape when I put it on there. Alright, this that should be good. Just give this one more quick touch up. There we go. Alright, so final product. I can kill this. And this. Shouldn't need the soldering iron anymore. Alright, so if you look, I just put a little bit more solder. That's not too bad. This looks pretty good to me. I'm just going to get electrical tape and I'm going to put it over each side and then we're going to put the whole thing back together. We should clean it out, but I'm probably not going to go crazy because it's just going to get beat up anyway. Okay, so we're just going to put a little bit of electrical tape on each connection. Like I say, you're supposed to use heat shrink. Doesn't matter. That's actually way too much, but so be it. Alright, so we're going to use a lot less for the other side because it doesn't have to be that much. And then next time when I come in here, it's going to be all sticky and gross, so if I ever go back in here. Take that out, because that doesn't need to be in there. Alright, so I wasn't paying attention to where this wire went when I first did it, so that's good. Probably went like that. So let's see. These went this way, I believe. Okay, so that's my guess. I'm not going to go back and look because as long as it functions properly when I'm done, I don't really care. So now, to put this in, you're going to have to pull the brushes out of the way, which should be fun. I'm going to fight with this for 5 minutes. Alright, so use this, get it over the bearing to start, which actually that bearing's in great shape, and then push it over the rest of the way. Now I need to get all this to line back up in its case, which should be interesting. Okay, I think I got this right. So you gotta, this notch is supposed to be straight into the plastic. I'll show you, I think it's that spot right there that holds the motor in place. You gotta be careful with these wires because it's really tight right there. I also moved the LED light wire. I put it underneath the switch. Like I say, I wasn't paying attention. I'm not entirely sure where that goes. So in the beginning of the video, I'm sure you can see where it was. Make sure you put your switch back in before you close it up. And then I think it looks like the notches that I thought went in the side, it looks like it goes top and bottom. But we'll find that out. And if it's wrong, you can always go back in and redo it. And when you put the cover on, yeah, the notches, that's not the correct place. I still think these two notches go side to side. So I'm going to try that real quick. But they don't seem to like line up perfectly. That's my issue. You would think it would just pop down into place. Maybe it's not back far enough. As I originally thought. It goes in like that. You just got to make sure it interlocks where it's supposed to be. So now it should go together. Get it to line up. Why does my switch not want to line up now? There we go. Alright, so that's right. Now it's all together. I'm going to throw a couple screws in it. Up in the top section because that's the only part that really needs it. And then we're going to just test it, make sure it works alright before we go too crazy. We should put the back piece on after we get a screw or two in here because that holds the rear bearing in the correct spot. Let me get one here, I'll do one on the top, and that should probably be good enough for testing it. I'll put two in the back panel. And yes, all the side screws are exactly the same, so there's nothing to worry about there. This goes this way, you just gotta wiggle it to get it to line up right. This time it went in really easy because the brushes are all the same size, so it's probably holding it generally in the center. When I was doing it before, it was a little harder to get this to line up. Alright, so I don't know if I want to test this without the front piece on. I think I'm going to hold it in place. Okay, I just readjusted it a little bit. And now everything works as it should. So now we're going to put it back together. I think these new brushes are going to take just a hair of time to break in. So I wouldn't be too surprised if it sounded a little weird when you first started doing it. But those alignments, like, they're super important. You need to get that circle piece that's on the motor here lined up properly, and then you need to get this piece with the two notches this way and that way. And I think it was like the Y part at the top. Alright, so I put the last screws in, except for I didn't put two in the back. I'm going to actually go run some screws into a piece of wood with this thing, and then I'm going to close that back up. It can't move because the thing's in the center, and you know, it's got two in it. But all you missed, because my SD card got full, was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws. Putting the battery back on, obviously, and these two. I just want to run some screws in, then I'm going to take these out. I'm just going to make sure the brushes look alright. I do think the brushes need to burn in a little bit, so I'm just going to run a couple screws in, make sure it's functioning proper, and I think we're going to call this one good. I'd say it's a little louder with these brushes than the old ones, but like we say, the old ones weren't really doing a whole lot anyway. Like this one was totally down to the bottom, so there was no choice. This had to be replaced. This one was actually in okay shape. This one, look at the difference there. That's ridiculous. That one, there you go. That's the end of that brush. So if I'm ever gonna buy a replacement for this, I'd probably go brushless, but you know, I think this also goes to show you too. This cost me $5. The new brushes cost me 10. So this drill, minus the battery, obviously, cost me $15. So a little bit of work, and I get a nice drill. I mean, it's okay. And I mean, yes, it's a little scratched up, and the Milwaukee isn't white anymore, but I don't care what it looks like. Okay, my very dirty workbench here. Got a couple screws. Just want us to make sure it's working all right. I'd say that's fine. Alright, so I just want to take this back off one more time, make sure everything looks good. This is more for my own knowledge than anything else. And you really shouldn't run this if you have this back cover off. You can, but you gotta realize the back bearing is held in place by this. So like if I'm gonna do it just to show you basically how the whole thing moves. So you shouldn't really do that. But everything looks good. These are all spring. Yeah, these will be fine. And now I got basically a dirty drill, a dirty impact driver that should last a long time unless the switch fails or something. So brushes are generally easy to replace, depends on the drill. But I would call this one not that complicated. You just need a hotter soldering iron than I have. Yeah, what I would do differently is start with the bigger soldering iron and pay more attention to where the wires go for the end. But I think I found everything kind of falls into place, and I think I found it where everything needed to go at the end. So alright, so that's that. And it actually sounds to me like the brushes have already started to wear in. It had like a little more metallic-y sound when I first started it on, and now it sounds about what it was before. So anyway, that's that. I like rebuilding things like this, you know, $5, one man's trash is another man's treasure. It means that I can use that money that I saved on buying an impact driver from Milwaukee on purchasing another battery. So I call that a win. I'll have another battery, and I'm just going to start picking these things up at tag sales and stuff. And if they're broken, they're broken. And if it's brushes, things like that, it's easy to fix. If it's something like a switch, you saw there's not a whole lot to these. You could replace a switch or something, but I don't know how cost effective that is, so I would have to look up the pricing and stuff on the switches. Lights, who the hell cares? You don't need them. The rest of it should be pretty straightforward. So that's that for this episode, and I'll see you in the next one.